Hey guys, welcome back. It is Wednesday, February 19th, 2025, and your Buffalo Sabres currently sit in first place in the Eastern Conference. We are 6 points up on the Toronto Maple Leafs in the Atlantic and first overall in the East. Jacob Vrana has been just an absolute monster this season. I am super glad we re-signed him. 73 points in 57 games, tied for third in the NHL in scoring, eighth in goals, seventh in assists. He's been a machine. We got some players back from injury, and we suffered a few additional injuries. You can see Rasmus Dahlin is out for a couple of weeks. We also lost Uolovi for a couple of weeks as well. Olofsson is out indefinitely with a broken kneecap, so another season that ends in injury for Olofsson. You can see 3 seasons of less than 60 games. He was a point a game this year. He was fantastic, but we are without Olofsson for the rest of the season. His contract expires at the end of this year. And we're going to have to talk about, we should probably do this now so that we don't forget to do it. So let's make some contract offers. And just based off of what it said down there at the bottom, we're probably going to have to make some moves here. You can see our money remaining. We actually have negative money. But we're going to sign these deals for some of these players who don't want a lot. Kubalik, I don't know. He's having a good year. Olofsson's having a good year. Kovanov, we picked up off waivers. What does he want? 1.2. Yeah, Kubalik, I don't know that we're going to be able to keep both Olofsson and Kubalik, so that's something we'll have to talk about. I think Olofsson's the better player, but Kubalik's having a really, really good season for us. 42 points last year, 54 points the year before that. What do they want? Let's look and see what they want, I guess, for starters. So he wants 5.7 for 3 and a no trade clause. Olofsson wants 5.5. So I think Olofsson's probably the way we're gonna go. Yeah, he's fragile. I think actually that's vulnerable in his legs. We're going to hold off for now. But Portillo, first off, we both re-signed. We're not going to re-sign Hedman, which is a shame. We only get 34 games out of Victor Hedman. Malkin, we aren't going to re-sign. Yeah, Portillo's going to replace Lankinen. But at any rate, I got sidetracked. So Olofsson's out. Uolovi's out. So that puts us in a position where we are using both Ryan Johnson and Max Lajoie on our top 6, and that's not going to work. So we are going to have to try to add something here going into the trade deadline. So let's take a look and see who's available. There are a ton of players available, a ton of young players available. I wouldn't mind picking up a young defenseman, but I don't know that we're going to have... Rasmus Anderson wouldn't be a bad pickup. What's his contract look like next year? 4.5. Cap hit of 3.4. That might not be bad. Let's go to filter. Let's get rid of goalies and forwards. Arseny Koromyslov. I mean, that's not going to help us this year. Wouldn't be a bad pick, but it's not going to help us this year. Chayka is not. I mean, none of these defensemen would help us this year, and we need help this year. So we got Nick Leddy. We got, I think, Anderson, because he's signed next season as well. What is this? Why are these names in there? I don't know. All right, well, let's look at our team, and what are we willing to give up? Man, we have just suffered. Look at some of these injuries. Eichel is out for 3 to 4 months, so we won't get Jack back this year. We'll have him next year. Dahlin, he's out for 1 to 2 weeks. Hedman's out for 1 to 2 months. Will they take him? Is that something that the game will do? He's using his no trade clause. Punk? All right. That's right. Allen is out for 1 to 2 months. So many injuries, man. Uolovi. So many injuries. Saganuk is in the Richmond lineup. Kovanov I can't trade because he was a waiver wire pickup. Foot I can't trade because he was a waiver wire pickup. Let's start with Kozak. It's hardly likely. Yeah, I know. And let's look at our rights. Who do we have here? Yeah, we're starting to run through some of our young players. We get Adam Jekko. He should be around next season. Middlestat, Novikov, hardly likely. Poltapov is 22, but a 50. Okay, so we have 2 players, and Poltapov and Jekko will be around next year. So do we have any forwards that we're willing to part with? Golob. Still nothing, huh? Kisakov hasn't been great, but I mean, those are some good ratings. I hesitate to trade on players like that. I mean, he's 22 years old. Tuck? I mean, I wouldn't mind getting Tuck off the books. That would allow me to re-sign Kubalik. And do we just give up? Do we give up a first? We don't have a 3rd-round pick in the upcoming draft. We don't have a 2nd or 3rd in 2026. We don't have a 3rd in 2027. What if we add a 2nd-round pick? So Kozak, Golob, Tuck, and Novikov for Rasmus Anderson. Okay, so they'll take that. So can we back this out and add in a 4th? They'll take that as well. What if without the draft pick? Will they do it without the pick? They will. Okay. So can we? Is there anybody? There's nobody here that I'm really all that interested in. I mean, Tuck has been really good. Look at the 75 game rating. I didn't realize he was that good. That contract. Yeah, I think we do this. So we'll move. If we move Tuck. What does that do to our lines? So Tuck comes out, and who goes in? Do we call up? I think we call up Saganuk. We'll call up Saganuk, and put him in on the 4th line and just sort of shift everybody around, because right now we have Tuck on the 2nd line because of the injury to Olofsson. So that really weakens us on the left. We'll have Quinn, Kovanov, Kisakov, and Saganuk on the left side. That really weakens our left side. But it makes our defense really, really good. And that means we would come back next year with Klingberg and Dahlin with, I mean, yeah. Tuck has had a 74 game rating, which is better than Olofsson. It's better than Kubalik. Do I want to give up Tuck? It's really going to weaken us on the left. I don't know that I want to do that. So let's go back in here. So if we remove Tuck, have to increase the offer a little. Okay, so is that a little? Not enough. I would rather give up. Is that okay? So I think that's going to be enough. but do I really want to give up a second-round pick? Because that means we'll have a first and a fourth each of the next couple of seasons. Is there another player we can add here that would change this? Kozak, Golub, Novikov, and Dontsov. Interesting offer, but you have to increase it a little. I don't want to give up Harventi. He's already a 15 offensive rating at 1.5 stars. Will Smith? 13. I mean, he looks like he's going to be a pretty well-rounded defenseman. I kind of like that. Oh, I don't want to give up Ivanov. You need that goaltending depth. Poltapov, Jekko, and Harventi all may be on the team next year, as well as Smith, if that development continues. So is there anybody on the main roster that I'm willing to give up? Obviously not Vrana, not Cousins, not Nemestikov, Eichel. I can't trade Kovanov, right, because he was a waiver claim. Saganuk? Interesting offer. What if I add the 4th-round pick now? Well balanced. So this I would be okay with if they'll take it. Kozak, Golub, Saganuk, Novikov, and a 4th for Rasmus Anderson. Okay. All right. We will make that deal. All right, so we keep our depth on the forward lines. This gets us another really good defenseman. We will replace Lajoie with Anderson. We will send him back down. He's going to go on waivers. Yep. Let's go to our lines. Anderson will move up on the top pairing with Klingberg, Power and Clefbaum, Johnson and Samuelson. And yeah, those are going to be our lines. We losing, we have just a lot of injuries. Our entire left side is out. Uolovi, Allen, and Hedman all out for. We'll get Uolovi back in a couple of weeks, but Allen and Hedman done basically for the year. Eichel done for the year. Olofsson done for the year as well. Let's just put him on the injured list. We got to remember to re-sign him. So that's our team for now. So we are, what are we going to do? So where's trade deadline? It's 24th. Let's sim up to the trade deadline and see what happens, see what sorts of deals are made, and then I'll sim ahead to, I guess probably the beginning of April, and we'll do April day by day. So we signed Portillo. Mikko Rantanen signs contract with Colorado. $12 million a year. Boston may move Taylor Hall. Only 11 goals this year for Taylor. Anything else? Nope. Vancouver looking to trade Bo Horvat, really? I guess they're looking to trade him in real life, right? He's only 3 stars in this. Okay. And he's 29. Wow. All right. So Rasmus Anderson wants number 4. I can't give him number 4. I'll give him number 44. He seems fine with that. Let's get up to the deadline. And we'll look at the trades that were made, and then we'll pause. Or you guys will pause, and I will sim a bit. If the sim engine was a little bit faster, I would just sit here and do it like I do with Out of the Park Baseball or anything else. But there's just a lot of downtime in between days. So it's just, what's going on now? Malkin's hurt? How long's he out for? He's got a stomach virus. He's got the flu. All right. So we'll replace him with Foot. We'll put Shaw on the top line, move Nemestikov up. Can either of those... Okay, so Kisakov can play center, so we'll do that for this game. Yeah, so if the sim engine was a little bit faster, I would just sit here and do it. But there's just a lot of downtime in between games. So we win 6-5, another high-scoring game. We're playing a ton of high-scoring games right now. So Tuck, I'm glad we didn't trade Alex Tuck as he picks up the hat trick, scores 4 points. Case of Middlestat has 3. We were down 2-0. Tuck scores. Vrana picks up his 30th. So we go into the third, down 4-2. Tuck, Middlestat, Quinn, and Tuck again in the third. Our goaltending has not been particularly good, but our offense has just been so good to make up for it. Casey Middlestat was a +4. Tuck was a +4. Samuelson was a +3. Anderson with an assist in his first game. Let's get to the trade deadline. And we'll take a look. I mean, we'll take one more look at the trade deadline and see if maybe there's anything else. I mean, I think we're pretty well set, but here were some deals. Levi Aaltonen for a second. Montreal trades Ryan Poling to the Ducks for a fourth. Looks like that's it. That's it, at least for today. We may have to take a look and see what happens tomorrow. But yeah, look at some of these names. Carlson, Tori Letkinen, Jake Edinger, Brad Marchand on the trade block. He's got 1 year left on his deal. Todd Bertuzzi. Can we pick up a Brad Marchand for the stretch run? Who is this? Ville Koivunen. 21 years old. What would the Bruins want for a Brad Marchand? Of course, they would have to retain half of what's left on his contract. What would the Bruins want for a Brad Marchand? We have so many injuries. So many injuries. There's nothing here I really want to give up. I don't want to give up any of these players. Do we have any players that we have the rights to that I'm willing to move? Not really. I mean, Dontsov. Really? The Bruins would do this? Sure. So Alexei Dontsov to the Bruins for Brad Marchand. So we're going to bring in the little ball of hate for the rest of the regular season. That works for me. That works for me. We will replace Foote with Marchand. And we will stick Brad on that top line. Move everybody down one. I think we'll leave Quinn on the third line. So Marchand, Shaw, and Vrana for now. Once we get Malkin back, he'll go on that top line. And then Kovanov probably goes to the bench when Malkin comes back. So, all right. Well, that wasn't expected, but we don't have to give up much to get him. So let's see what happens in this final game before the trade deadline. So again, made a couple of really nice improvements on the back end and on the front end. We win 5-2. So let's take a look. So here's the rest of the deals. Toronto trades John Fusco to the, I think that's the Rangers for a second-round pick. Tyler Wall to the Toronto Maple Leafs for a second. Cole Smith and a fourth for the rights, or for Sampo Ranta and the rights to Daniel Bren. Shane Pinto to the Kings for Colin White and Daniel Bren. I think that's it. All right, so Marchand is a Buffalo Sabre. How did he do in his debut? Tuck with 2 goals, Klingberg 2 assists, Middlestat 2 assists. Quinn, Vrana, Kubalik, Tuck, and Tuck. Glad we didn't trade Alex Tuck. He's been terrific. Marchand, his first game for us, 64 game rating, played 15 minutes, was a +1. All right. So I think I simmed through March. Yeah, I'm going to sim through March. We will come back. We will do April. We'll look at our team stats, and we will call it a regular season. So I'll be back in just a few minutes. Well, I'll be back instantaneously for you guys. For me, it might take me an hour or so. Be right back. All right. We're back. It's Tuesday, April 1st, 2025, and as you can see, we have really gone on a run here. 50, 22, and 2. Good for 102 points. Best record in the NHL, or I guess tied for the best record in the NHL with Colorado. If you look at our month that was, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 2 in the month of March. So it was a fantastic month for the Buffalo Sabres, and our offense is just redunculous. So let's take a look. Let's go here first. Let's look at the team leaders goals per game. We are the top scoring team in the NHL by a significant portion. We are averaging over 4 goals a game, 4.14 goals per game, 306 goals. Our offense is nuts. Defensively, we are middle of the pack. We're 14th defensively, but when you score over 4 goals a game, it doesn't matter. If we take just a quick look at our stats, we'll dive deeper here at the end of the season. But Jacob Vrana, 100 points in 74 games. Mason Shaw, a point a game. Dylan Cousins, almost a point a game. Alex Tuch has 35 goals. I am so glad I didn't trade him. 35 goals, 31 assists for Alex Tuch. 35 goals for Dominic Kubalik, 64 points. Casey Middlestad is averaging a point a game. Vegny Malkin's at 22 points in 30 games since coming over from Pittsburgh. Marchand is averaging a point a game. He's got 13 points in 15 games since coming over. Jack Quinn, 36 points. Klingberg is a plus 24. Dahlin's a plus 26. Klefbom's a plus 26. Just everywhere you look, just unbelievable performances offensively. Matthias Samuelsson is a plus 37 with his 16 defense. So Alex Tuch a plus 40. Our goaltending stats have been, they're fine. I'm okay with Luukkonen putting up a 290 goals against and a 915 save percentage. Lankinen hasn't been particularly good, but I don't think he'll play much in the postseason, and this will be it for him. So, we are a truck right now. And it's time to finish the month. So we'll get up to our next game against New Jersey. We'll look at our stats. We'll look at who we're playing in the first round of the playoffs, and then we'll call it an episode. I don't want to skip because last year, I'm sure you guys remember, but the end of last season was a bit of a cluster for me. I forgot to record the playoffs, and then I didn't record the postseason statistical episode, so I want to do that. So we're going to slow things down here once we get into the postseason a little bit. Our young talent continues to improve. First off is 2.5 star, 3.5 star. Kisakov, 2.5 star, 3.5 star. Owen Power's up to 3 stars now. Jack Quinn, 2.5, 3.5. Klefbom and Malkin get worse, but that's fine. Board confidence, 11-2 last month. And goalie of the month, Peter Tomei. Really? A 1-star, 2-star goalie. Good for him. All right, so first game of the month here against the New Jersey Devils. And you should have seen some of the scores at the end of the month. I don't know if you guys caught it when we were looking at the schedule, but I scored 8 goals like 4 times last month. 7-goal game here against New Jersey. Jacob Vrana now leads the National Hockey League in scoring. Malkin had 4 points. Power had 3. Vrana 2 goals and an assist. Is Vrana going to hit 50? He might. He's got 45 goals right now. Mason Shaw with 28. Dylan Cousins 53 assists. Kubalik scores his 36th. Malkin is 25th. Lankinen only faces 15 shots, stops 12 of them, but it is enough. The 100 offensive game rating for Dominic Kubalik. I think we try to figure out a way to bring them both back. So that might be something I do once we get to the playoffs, kind of in between here, is try to bring back both Kubalik and Olofsson and just make it work. Maybe we can package some of our other players for a young stud defenseman. But man, we're a good hockey team. We're a good hockey team. Let's end the game today against the Lightning at home. A 5-4 win. Marchand day-to-day with calf cramps. Come on, Brad. Kisakov a goal and an assist. Kubalik has 2 assists. So we get goals from Quinn, Middlestat, Marchand, and Nemestikov. Kisakov in overtime, his 10th, from Kubalik and Rasmus Anderson, who's been, I think, really good since we picked him up. Oh, that's the wrong player. That's not where I wanted to go. Now let's back out. Let's go back to the roster. Rasmus Anderson, where are you? Right there. Yeah, point a game. 18 points in 19 games for Rasmus Anderson with a 68 game rating. He was playing in the minors for Calgary? Really? Okay, well, he's been good for us, so I'm not going to complain. All right, so our next game, when's our next game? Our next game is on the 5th. Jacob Vrana leads the NHL in scoring, 3rd in goals, 4th in assists. We got Luke Glendening and David Perron, Andrew Podorowski, and Josh Manson on waivers. We're good there. Got the Panthers coming up tomorrow. Man, I hope Vrana ends up leading the league in scoring. That would be awesome. Oh, Victor Hedman to resume skating. We might get Hedman back for the postseason. So, very Tampa Bay Lightning-ish here. Victor Hedman going to sit on injured reserve until the playoffs, and then going to come back and help us out. So, is Marchand out? No, he's actually day-to-day, so he's fine. Dahlin can come back. He was suspended. Replace Uolovi with Dahlin. Go to the next day. Down in Florida, a 5-0 shutout. Jacob Vrana has a 20-game point-scoring streak. Dahlin, 2 goals and an assist. Samuelsson, 2 assists. Tuck with a goal and an assist. Dahlin's only scored 7 goals. Cousins with his 18th. Vrana with his 46th. Dahlin with his 7th and 8th. Who got the shutout? Luukkonen gets the shutout. We stay in Tampa to take on the Lightning tomorrow. And go to the next day. Who's injured? Marchand. How long is he out for? Day-to-day with shin splints. Okay, we'll replace him with Kovanov. And we'll just leave the lineup the way it is. I don't want to mess with the other lines. So, game here in Tampa. A 3-2 loss in overtime. Okay. Overtime loss. Vrana with 2 more goals. 47 and 48 on the year, and we lose in a shootout. Luukkonen stops 34 of 36. Some decent players on waivers there, but nobody we need. Marchand, is he ready to come back? Safe to dress him. It is, so he sits for a game. Kovanov will sit and be replaced with Marchand. Philadelphia, back-to-back games against the Flyers and one of the New York teams, unsure which one. At home against Philly, ends in a 5-2 win. No points for Vrana in that game? Yeah. No, he extended his point streak. Extended his point streak to 22 games. Shaw, 2 goals and an assist. Kubalik, 2 assists. Quinn. So Vrana and then Shaw scores twice. We're up 3-0 at the end of the first period. They get a couple back. Malkin scores, and then first off into the empty net. Mason Shaw with 30 goals. He and Vrana really, I think, have been probably our 2 most under-the-radar pickups. They've both been awesome. I mean, obviously the names aren't quite there, but Shaw was a waiver wire claim for us. And he's put up 81 points in 79 games this year. And then Vrana's just been redonkulous. 109 points in 79 games. Another game today. Is a 5-3 loss. Hang on just a second. All right, sorry about that. All right, so we lose 5-3. An actual loss. Cousins has 3 points. Tuck picks up his 37th. Any points for Middlestat Klingberg? No points for Jacob Vrana. His point scoring streak ends at, I think it was 23 games. But it looks like he's going to end up leading the NHL in points. He's got 109 points. We got a game here against the Senators. I'd say 54-23-3 is a good season. We lose back-to-back games. Wow. Back-to-back losses. Minor injury for Alex Tuck. He's out for 3 days. That's fine. Cameron Allen's going to be back soon. We have the best record in the NHL, the most wins, the highest scoring offense. Playoffs should be fun. So Cameron Allen, he's almost ready. Tuck is out for this one game, so we'll replace him with Kovanov. Let's get through today. Finish our regular season. And we win 4-1. So Jacob Vrana leads the NHL in scoring. He picks up his 50th goal of the season in the final game of the year. He's got 50. Kubalik had 37. Kovanov gets a point in that one as well. Luukkonen stops 26 out of 27. Let's get to our rosters. So Allen is healthy. He can come back to the active roster. What about Hedman? He's still game unavailable, so once he's ready to go, we'll move him to the main roster. Let's see. What do we want to do here? So Uolovi, put him on waivers. So we got Allen now. So Power, Dahlin, Samuelsson, Klefbom, Klingberg. When we get Hedman back, who sits? Klefbom, I guess? Maybe? I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, though. So replace Kovanov with Tuck. All right, so let's take a look at our final regular season stats. So Jacob Vrana, just an absolutely crazy season. Had never scored more than 67 points in a season. That was back in 22-23. We traded for him last season. He only had 9 points in 27 games, but something made me want to re-sign him, and boy, am I glad I did. 50 goals, 61 assists, 111 points, an 81 game rating. Jacob Vrana was an absolute monster and a bargain at $5.8 million a year for the next 2 seasons after this one. Mason Shaw, we talked about a waiver wire claim in our first season, and he's been pretty steady. Game rating in the 60s. That was bumped up to a 69. Nice this year. Had 21 points on the power play. First year we really used him on the power play, and he came through. 21 points on the power play. 81 points in 82 games. Had 50 assists. He's another bargain contract for us, making $4.8 a year after this season. Dylan Cousins, obviously been with us since the start as well. His best season. Had a step backwards last year. Only scored 5 goals in 82 games, but bounced back nicely this season. 19 goals, a career high, 57 assists, a career high in points, career high in plus minus. His game rating was down a tad, but I don't know if that is because he's not on the first line anymore. I don't really know. But playing on the second line just had a career high in points, so I will take it. Dominic Kubalik, I thought about trading him. Yeah, I thought about trading him. He played really well in that first season after we picked him up from the Blackhawks. Or not trading him, but not re-signing him. But settled into a, high teens, 17 goals, 18 goals, 19 goals. And then this season, and I don't know if it's because his contract is up, but just out of nowhere, 37 goals for Dominic Kubalik, a career high in assists. That means obviously a career high in points. Career best in plus minus, 71 game rating. He was fantastic as well. And we'll look at our injured players too, because I know those guys obviously contributed. Alex Tuck, another one I thought about trading right at the trade deadline. He was in that deal for Rasmus Anderson. Say that 3 times fast. I'm glad I didn't trade him because his last 2 months he was next to Vrana, probably our best player. 37 goals for Alex Tuck. 37 goals. I bet the Sabres would be thrilled if they got that out of Alex Tuck this year. 37 goals, 33 assists, 70 points. Was a plus 45 with a 76 game rating. Alex Tuck was terrific. Casey Middlestat, under the radar, because some of the other numbers are just so crazy. I mean, he set a career high in points, set a career high in assists and plus minus. And he was terrific as our second line center. And he's getting paid under $3 million for the next 2 seasons. So, Evgeny Malkin, 32 points in 38 games. He was just what we needed after losing Jack Eichel. Marchand, 18 points in 22 games, was fantastic on the top line. Jack Quinn had a career year for him. It's only his second season, but set career highs across the board. I expect more out of him going forward. Look at those offensive ratings, and he's not there yet. 2.5 star, 3.5 stars, so still room to grow there. Klingberg, we might be seeing the kind of the downturn of the career here a little bit, but that's fine. I mean, we knew that was going to happen. We signed him to a long-term deal. He signed for 2 more years after this one at 5.9. Oops. At 5.9. Yeah, I mean, he was fine. He was a plus 30. It's game rating of 67 at 46. Had 39 points, which is kind of right in line with what we've been getting out of him. A few less goals, a few more assists. I mean, he was fine. I don't know how much longer he's going to be a number one. Rasmus Dahlin, I don't want to say I'm disappointed by Dahlin. I guess I just expected more offense, frankly, especially after that first season where he put up 51 points in 82 games. Maybe this is what he is. Maybe he's a 35 to 40 point guy. And, if that's what he is, he's fine. He was only 24 years old. Well, I guess 25 now. He just had a birthday a couple days ago. Happy birthday, Rasmus. And if that's what he is, he's fine. I mean, I'm okay with that. And he's signed for 2 more years after this one at almost 7.5. Nemestikov, his rookie season was great. He's a two-way player, so he's not going to score a ton, but still 10 goals, 25 assists, 35 points, 63 game rating. But again, just he's going to be, I mean, you look at his mental, his defensive, and his physical ratings, he's going to be a two-way machine for years. So looking forward to that. Kisakov was our second-round pick in 2021. And he's come on. I mean, rookie campaign, 28 goals in 68 games. I'll take it. Samuelson, his ratings don't scream, like his defensive ratings and obviously these scream elite defensemen. Offensively, you just had to wonder if he could provide enough offensively to make the fact that his offense is so poor worth it. And he put up 28 points. 28 points this year, but plus 41. Game rating was a little light, but I mean, he puts up that every season. I'm totally okay with that. So Matthias Samuelsson, a really good year at age 25. Owen Power, his second full season. He saw the improvement you wanted to see. His game rating up from a 58 to a 60. Scored fewer goals, had more points, better plus minus. He's a 5-star potential, and he's only 3 stars right now, so he's only going to get better. It's probably ultimately going to make Dahlin expendable when it's all said and done. First off was I think he was a free agent, right? Yeah, we signed him as a free agent in 2023. He was out of UConn, right? Scored 8 points in 13 games last year, 27 points in 82 games this year, 64 game rating. I mean, as a bottom 6 forward, I mean, to get somebody like this in your bottom 6, I'll take it. Clefbaum, again, he was fine as a defensive defenseman. He's got 1 more year left after this one. Anderson had 19 points in 25 games. He was fine. Kovanov, we picked up off the waiver wire. Cameron Allen, he'll be back in the lineup probably next season. The 19-year-old had 13 points in 37 games before going down with an injury. Foot didn't play much. Lankinen and Luukkonen. Luukkonen, 29, 12, and 2 with a 2.86 and a 9.15. He was actually really good. I mean, a 2.86 goals against isn't great, but a 9.15 save percentage is fantastic. Lankinen was meh, but he'll be gone next year. So for Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, he's gotten better, really, year after year after year. I mean, you see his game rating, mid-70s. I mean, if your goalie can be in the mid to upper 70s, you'll take that. His goals against was a bit high. Save percentage was a little bit lower, but faced a lot more rubber. You see in 62 games last year, only 1,800 shots faced. This year, 48 games, 1,500 shots. So he faced a lot more shots this year. So that's where we stand. Who are we going to be taking on in the postseason? So let's look at the award nominees first. Best record in the NHL, your Buffalo Sabres. Oh no, Olli Juolevi is claimed by The Devils. That sucks. Okay. That's not what I wanted to do. Let's stop. All right, so Hart Trophy nominees. Are you kidding? There's no Jacob Vrana. Connor McDavid had 94 points. Shea Theodore had 80. Thomas Chabot had 60. Oh, come on. Vezina, nobody. Norris, nobody. Calder Trophy, nobody. Executive of the Year, nobody. Selke, Nemestikov is on there. Lady Bing, nobody. Messier, nobody. And we're on there for Coach of the Year. That's garbage. All right, so Victor Hedman. Oh, not quite ready. Victor Hedman, not quite ready. Brady Shea, Jacob Chychrun. He's going to be a free agent. Oh, my God. Okay. We may have some stuff to do in the offseason. All right, who are we taking on in the postseason? Who's going to be our first round opponent in the 2025 NHL? Is Hedman ready now? Yes, Victor Hedman ready to go. Injury list. Let's put Hedman back on the active roster. And who sits for Victor Hedman? Clefbaum, I think. Replaced with Hedman. So Klingberg and Dahlin, Power and Hedman. Oh, man, our defensive core is so good. Goalie starts. Stick with the starter during the playoffs. We still don't know who we're playing. Tampa Bay. Taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning. 42, 30, and 10. Nikita Kucherov led them in scoring. 84 points. Stamkos, 59. Roman Schmidt, a 22-year-old. The Lightning they grow these young defensemen. I don't know where they come from, but they just grow them. Schmidt, Sergachev, Brady Tkachuk, 42 points. Anthony Cirelli, Riley Height, a 20-year-old. Matthew Joseph, Eric Cernak. Yeah, they're not very good. Ryan McDonough's still going at age 35. They're not fantastic. Jack Studnicka, the former Buffalo Sabre, now with Tampa. And Vasilevsky, 16-11 with a .311 goals against average. Not very good, but a .914 save percentage. So maybe offense was just up this year. I don't know. But we are taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round of the playoffs, and that will be in the next episode. We will run through the NHL playoffs next time. Guys, I hope you're enjoying this as we go for a repeat. I know I'm enjoying it on my end. I'll talk to everybody soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.